today's the day. The time has come. The time has come to say goodbye. The time has come to farewell. Something that that has been and gone. And yeah, time for a new era. That's 2023 is disappearing from us. So today is the last day of 2023, so I thought I'd better hurry up and get this little video out to you guys about this fence. We'll have a quick yarn about that, and we'll also talk about running measurements, okay? What is a running measurement and what does it mean in carpentry and how is it used in carpentry, all right? So the way I see it, I've gone from the guy with all the gear with absolutely no idea to the guy with all the gear and somewhat of a kind of a bit of an idea. So now it's time to share. I'm still an apprentice, I'm still a third year, and yeah, loving every second of it and still thoroughly enjoy it. I really have a passion for this stuff, and it's funny, I never thought I'd have this sort of love or enjoyment in a job before. Like, I've liked jobs before, but I haven't loved jobs before, and what I get out of this one is insane. So anyway, let's talk about this fence. Enough jibber jabber about me, so let's talk about fence, and we'll go through running measurements, hey? Let's go down here and we'll have a yarn about running measurements. Come on, let's go. Righto guys, when we're talking about running measurements, basically what we're talking about in measurements on using your tape measure and stuff like that, and it's incremental measurements, okay? So running measurements is, say for example, you see them at framing out wards and stuff like that. A running measurement is when you start from one point, extend your tape along, and you take incremental measurements from that single point. Okay, bear with me, hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's see if I can make this a little bit more practical and visual. So, obviously with the fence, we need to lay out our posts. So, to lay out our posts, we need to come up with basically working off the distances of the posts that we needed. So, say for example, for this one, I think we went around 20, I think the actual increment was 2360 is what we worked off, all right? So we went 2360, we started from this one because we didn't start from there because we weren't sure what was going on there. So we started from this post, this is our first post, our base post and base measurement. Went from that post, measured 2360 from there. After that, we went the next measurement, 2360, 2360, 2360, onwards and onwards and onwards. This isn't always an easy thing to do, like measuring increments, especially tricky ones that aren't in multiples of a nice little digit, say 450s or 500s and stuff, can get a bit tricky. So there are apps out there that help you with that. Grab an app, use that, and get your incremental measurements, all right? And life will change. It'll make everything so much easier for you, and you can get your measurements correctly. Why do you do a running measurement? Now, we do running measurements because it's the most accurate way to pass measurements on over a distance, if that kind of makes sense. Say for example, all right, you get your tape. Say for example, you want to measure your distances, center post, 2360, 2360, all right? Then the next measurement, you come along and you measure 2360, 2360. The chances of you shifting on that point is extremely high. So all it takes for you is to just be off that little bit or mismeasure or just take it out that little section and it can throw your entire spacing out. So that's why it's important. If you set a point, measure from that point, complete a running measurement, all right? You see it in wall framing, you see it across the board in carpentry. Running measurements are important to ensure that you have correct spacings of the measurements that you need. All right, hopefully that helps you guys out. Keep that in mind, definitely. Grab yourself, download one of the apps, especially if you're an apprentice and you're trying to get the hang of things. Download one of the apps because they are handy. They're pretty cheap as chips. I think Quick Chip is still out there. I can't get that on Samsung though. I tried to do that. I think I got Carpentry calculator or something on mine. And they're all relatively cheap, but they'll help out with these sort of measurements. So yeah. Righto guys, let's go through the process of building the fence of awesomeness. Okay, so first of all, as you all knew, as you saw in the demolition video, part one of the fence, we actually pre-drilled all the holes. Now that was great, that was all right because we already worked out the increments that we needed to put the holes in. So we pre-drilled all those, that worked out really well. But obviously the fence took ages. It took near on close to 2.5 months, something ridiculous like that to get here. It completely, yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, Took ages to get here. We had to re-dig all the post holes. So we went and did all that first. We set all that up. We double checked that our increments were correct. So your running measurements, same deal again. I used a nice long 30 meter tape. I laid that out and I set my points, okay? Did all that, all right? From there, we had to check our heights. Now, heights were important, okay? I had a laser, so that helped out considerably, all right? So I set up the laser, set up the heights with the receiver and stuff, double check some low points, high points, made sure everything was where it needed to be Mickey Mouse wise, and I ran a string line. Now, string line over 20 odd meters, okay, can actually sag in the middle, so I actually set another height in the middle, okay? So I set a secondary height up to ensure that that string line stayed at the height that it needed to, and it wasn't sagging in the middle, all right? I was also using these 3 points as a point of reference for the string line too. So that middle string line also had a marker on it, which ensured that if the string line went out from putting posts in and stuff like that, I could see what was going on there. So very, very handy to do. All right, so we did that, ran that through, got that set up, knew what we're doing there, all right? Next was the posts. Had to get the posts in. Posts were the first part of the puzzle, all right, as I'm sure you would all understand. Okay. Set the posts back to back, screwed them in with the screws supplied, okay, and that's how you work your colour-bond fences, back to back posts. It's easy, nice and simple, screw it in. But something I did do was I actually marked the height that I wanted it to sit at, all right? So where my string line was, I worked out the height, the finished height that I wanted, okay, with the string line, and I marked a bit of tape along all the posts in one length, ran a line, and that was my height line to reference to my string line, okay? So that little bit of sticky tape that was sitting on my posts, that was the height reference to my string line. So when I'm putting the concrete posts in, I'm not trying to line up string lines at the top and things like that. I've got a reference at the bottom. I can look at that, I can see where it sits straight, I can make sure it lines up with the actual line up increments along the driveway as well, and away we went. So that worked out really well. I had a great crew of people to help me out. So Shoddy was there, Sam was there, my next door neighbour, and Poppy was there as well. So he was visiting from WA, and he wanted to give us a hand. So I said, hey, why not come aboard? And I'm glad he did. So everything worked out really well for us. We got the posts in, got them in, and obviously once your posts are done, that's the tricky bit. So as long as your posts are plumb, as long as you've got the right height set, okay, you're good to go. And the spacings, making sure your spacings are a Mickey Mouse, because that will throw you out considerably, all right? So the coverage of the rails was 2350, and I went 2360 to give me a bit of 5mm clearance. As you can see at the top of the post here, I prefer that finish. I prefer that slightly higher raised top rail with a curve. I don't like caps. It's a preference, I suppose. And I reckon it gives a nicer rounder look. So yeah, it's a small detail that I like and my neighbour likes now as well. So yeah. Righto, now the posts were in and it was all Mickey Mouse. It was time to put in the rail. You had the bottom rails in, that's nice and easy, set that to the height as well. Same deal, you had your reference point already there, so you worked off that, put your screws in, job done. Bottom rail set, put your panels in. Now, panels were tricky. There is a bit of a knack to putting them in, okay? And you've got to try and be really careful because it's very, very easy to scratch them. And you don't want to scratch your panels. Scratching your panel, you're going to have a bad time, all right? I secured a top rail, okay, at one point, at a pivot point at the back. So I always basically pivoted from that point. I filled up my panels from this end, okay? One panel, two panels, and the third panel slipped in. As I was doing, I was slowly creeping down the top as well as you went. Is a bit of a knack to it, bit of a pain in the butt, to be honest, and can be frustrating, all right? But once you get the knack, then you're fine. You sort of flow and it happens really quickly. And once it's up, screw off your top screws. Job done, guys. Righto, guys, so that's it for this little installment. I hope you enjoyed my quick run through on the colour-bond fence and how I've done it and the running measurement. Now, did that help you guys out much at all? Do I need to explain it better? Have I explained it okay? If I haven't, throw something in the comments, please do. Let me know. Let me know if I should be explaining things a little bit better and a little bit more detail. Because to be honest, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to help you guys out where I can. If you don't know something and I don't know something, let's work it out. Let's see if we can get the information from different people that we know, and let's see if we can share it out there and get it out to you guys. Because I think that's important. That's why we're here. That's why I started the channel, to give people a bit of a heads up. Now, it's not every day you start a whole new career as a 40-year-old first-year carpenter and stuff like that. So, and now look at where it's taken me, where I am now, how I'm feeling. The backroom reno is going a mint. I'm really kicking on with that, guys. So I can't wait to show you all that footage, go through some stuff with you there. And yeah, onwards and upwards. 2024 is going to be an amazing year for me. I'm feeling pumped, I'm feeling fired up, I'm feeling focused, and I've even got my own special Christmas shirt now as well, thanks to the wife. So love you, babe. Good job. Oh, I got some stickers too. So yeah, I plan to send some out. I might have to do something with the little stickers. There's some little stickers as well with Midlife Carpentry on them. So, hey guys, if you're keen on a sticker and you really, really want to have one, sing out, throw it in the comments. I'll shoot you one, that's all right. And a big shout out to a lad that I met who's quietly sitting in the corner somewhere, Ben. He's a chippy from down south. He come up for the work Christmas party and stuff that we had. I met him, had a yarn to him. He knew about the channel. So I just wanted to do a quick shout out to him, Benny boy. And of course, all the MB construction crew boys. Like 2023, your support and you getting me through that was unreal. Like, you know, the likes of the Mileses and the Jadens and the Reggies and the Ryans and the Sarahs and Archer, the new apprentice Archer, is actually coming into his own. So I'm excited to see him grow and develop over time and see what he has to basically offer MB Construction, I guess you could say. Being a first year apprentice, it's a hard gig to have. Like, trust me, I've been there, I know. But yeah, 2024, exciting year. Can't wait to get more out to you guys. If you want to see more on the channel too, if there's particular things you want to see on the channel, hit me up, throw it in the comments, let us know. Say, hey Chris, can you give us pointers on this? Or have you seen this before? Can you do this? Happy to do it, guys. Happy to look into things for you. Otherwise, build on, legends. You have a cracker of a New Year's. Happy New Year. Bring on 2024. Bring on all the fun stuff. And yeah, let's get on with it. See you guys. All the best, eh?